Chelsea Football Club could be set to make another hijack to gatecrash Manchester United's move for Frenkie de Jong. They are said to be monitoring the situation. They are looking at what Man United do. An agreement is in place over the fee, with structural measurements still needing to be finalized, according to a number of media outlets. Man United fans getting a bit nervous about this. Could we be about to see a big hijack? Let's take a look at what Fabrizio Romano has to say about the latest on this deal. We'll delve into it in more detail. Make sure you're smashing that like and that share button.
Not yet at this stage, medicals and these kind of things for Frenkie de Jong, guys. We are not yet at the final stage of the negotiation, but let me explain you what's going on with Frenkie de Jong, because this is something really important. The agents who started this negotiation of Malacia are the same agents of Frenkie de Jong. The agents of Frenkie are in discussion with Man United since a long time. This is not a secret, but let me explain you, because you always send me many rumors on this Frenkie story, that between Manchester United and Barcelona, there is the feeling that an agreement will be reached on the fee. They are almost there on the fee. 65 million euros. This bid, guys, is not a new one. It's the same bid that they did last weekend. So I told you last weekend, there is a new bid from Man United, and this is still the bid. 65 guaranteed million euros plus add-ons to arrive to 85 million euros total fee. This is the negotiation. This is the imminent agreement between Man United and Barcelona on the fee. Then they need to discuss about the add-ons, because it's not just few million euros, but it's 20 million euros package of add-ons to be discussed. And they are on it. They will be on it. We know that both clubs are busy with many things. Man United with many negotiations. Also Barcelona with many things like Rafinha, many others. Lewandowski, of course. So it's normal that it takes some time. Also because it's a big amount, 20 million. So this is why they need to decide together. Easy, complicated add-ons. They are on it. But
as you can hear from Fabrizio Romano there, it's all kind of in hand with Manchester United and Barcelona. And I've been very privileged in my life to actually see some of these contracts and the way the add-ons are broken down. And they're not as basic as just after 15 appearances, we get 10 more million. They're far more complicated. It's about minutes played, starting, coming on from the bench. There's so many stipulations to it that will be in place. What appears to be happening now with Manchester United is they're finalizing these details. The legal teams from both football clubs are going through them, and they're ensuring that both sides are making sure that it's as airtight as possible and they're getting the best deal. The base deal is done, is agreed. There is talk about personal terms still needing to be got at. This is only really coming from the British press. The British press are the only ones that are really pushing this notion that personal terms still need to be agreed. The majority of the the Dutch press have alluded to the fact that the player is open to joining. He's been convinced by Erik ten Hag that is the place for him to be. Now, when you look at the article here from The Guardian that has kind of sent everybody into absolute meltdown, it says Chelsea are monitoring developments around Frenkie de Jong and could target the Barcelona midfielder if his move to Manchester United breaks down. So that first sentence there needs to be focused on. Before you do that, though, we are sponsored by private internet access. You make sure you get yourself signed up to this. You get 3 months for free, courtesy of the Football Terrace, and up to 82% discount on their best product to ensure you're using the internet across all your devices safely and securely, and none of your data can be hijacked, as Chelsea are reportedly looking to do. Now, the headline last night on social media I got a bit fearful. Oh my God. Could this deal break down? Could this deal fall apart? Could Man United be about to lose their number one target? It's highly unlikely. Read that line again. Chelsea are monitoring developments about Frenkie de Jong and could target him. They're not targeting him. They haven't made any approaches if the move to Manchester United breaks down. Manchester United have agreed a fee of 56 million plus add-ons for de Jong and are negotiating now centered around the player's personal terms. Now, the player's been away on holiday. He wasn't, even if Man United signed him a month ago, he wouldn't be with the club right now. Man got engaged up a hill a couple of days ago. Monday, he is returning. And there is a hope within the de Jong camp that everything can be finalized. Where this deal appears to be at is, as I've already mentioned, it's ironing out the legalities, the structures, the actual boring stuff that fans don't care about. Players don't overly care about. That's why they hire agents and lawyers, and they have a representation team around them to ensure that everything is handled to the best, in the best way possible for them as a client. Of course, Man United want the best end for their deal for their end, and Barcelona very much the same. So could there be a situation, as per the headline, where Chelsea spring into action here and take him away from Manchester United? It doesn't look likely at this particular moment in time. Chelsea Football Club are working very, very hard on their deals for Sterling. That's very similar to Manchester United's a deal agreed with Manchester City over the price. Personal terms are not going to be an issue. It's now about the finer details. And for these big players, for these superstar players, they always take longer. They take longer purely and simply because they have their own personal endorsements. Of course, the image rights that are connected to it, the commerciality and the marketing departments that need to make sure that everything's tied up. Example being, Raheem Sterling might have a watch sponsor. City might still be using images of him with their watch sponsor, and Chelsea have their own. They will need, and this very much happened when Manchester United would take him Jose Mourinho in as their manager. These things take time and it's boring. And sometimes fans sit there and go, well, why is it delayed? Why can't they just announce it? Because often they want to get all of these matters resolved before they make the formal announcement. It's just due diligence, crossing I's and dotting T's. But as this passage of the article goes on to say, around personal terms, it is understood that the Netherlands international is open to moving to Old Trafford, despite previously stating he's in no rush to leave Barcelona, who needs to raise money for signings through sales. And of course, the article goes on to say a lot more. It's well worth a read in The Guardian. You know, they do speak in the article about Frenkie de Jong's keen to play Champions League football, which of course Manchester United cannot offer him at this moment in time. But there has been no contact between Chelsea Football Club and Frenkie de Jong's agent. There's been no contact between Chelsea Football Club and Barcelona over the player. Now, that's as of right now, and this is being recorded on the 2nd of July. Of course, things can change. And I think this is where Manchester United now need to motor on forward, because a fear that United fans should have, not one of panic, not one of getting angry, but it should center around the fact that if a team like Chelsea became serious, if a team like City, if a team like PSG, City and PSG did make inquiries earlier on in the window, they have seemingly gone on to other options. But if these Champions League clubs with world-class squads and managers challenging for league titles, City league champions, back-to-back, Chelsea have very recently been European champions, and are looking to add real quality to a brilliant squad and with the manager they have, Frenkie de Jong's head, without a shadow of a doubt, could be turned. There is uncertainty over the midfield of Chelsea, with Chelsea fans asking and kind of demanding that a midfielder be purchased. This is where Man United now need to get this closed off. So they've had the luxury of nobody else really pushing on this deal. They've had the luxury of being in a position where they've had the power, they've had the control. Barca need to sell, the players open to joining. They've been negotiating the price down, and they've shaved off the initial asking fee, 30 odd million, around nearly 30 million euros has been shaved off, give or take, depending upon the publication that you read. It's being paid in installments over a 5-year period. So year one, it's about £11.5 million this deal's going to cost. Great. But now you get to a point where you may need to lose a few mini battles to win the overall war to make sure Frenkie de Jong is your player. We haven't had to do that in other pursuits. Of course, the Malacia was a little bit easier because Lyon, with all due respect to them, are not a massive competitor for Manchester United. They're just simply not. When you look at some of the other players that we're looking at, is it hard to take Eriksen away from Brentford? I don't think it will be. I really believe he'll become a Manchester United player when 2 or 3 of our signings are announced and he can see that United are trying to move back in the right direction. Irrespective of what journalists say, I do believe that's the truth. And equally, Man United didn't face this problem with Arsenal and Lisandro Martinez. Now, Arsenal still may land Lisandro Martinez, but Man United and Arsenal are kind of in the same position. You know, they've both gone through turmoil, both gone through bad times, both have big question marks over the returning to former glories. So it's not like you're going up against a Chelsea or a City or a PSG, a Real Madrid, a Liverpool. Very, very different scenario indeed with those players, with respect. So when you look at the Frenkie de Jong situation, Man United have got to act. And as I've already mentioned, there should be no panic. There should be no throwing toys out of prams. There should be no abuse or anger online. Myrtle, Fletcher, Mr. O'Boyle need to recontact Barca if they haven't done already, push hard with their lawyers and their negotiators and say, listen, let's get this tied up and done now. Let's get something in front of Frenkie de Jong so he can sign it. Let's get the announcements out there and let's ensure that there is no gate crash. Let's ensure there is no hijack. Let's ensure nothing with this deal goes wrong. You just recently seen Barcelona end up having to pay £25 million more than they expected to for Rafinha because of Arsenal and Chelsea. And that's something Man United have got to ensure doesn't happen here. That Chelsea don't come in and go, listen, we'll pay you £65 million up front. That changes everything because then they can pull away from the deal that they've agreed with Manchester United. Because until, by the way, everything is signed off and the player's holding the shirt, it can always go wrong. Until they do it, that's why my language around transfers is different. I don't go with done deal being the end. I go with deal complete. When it's complete, it's when you can absolutely relax, when paperwork is signed. Until that point, personal terms, done deals, advanced talks, personal terms are no problem. What's the new phrase this year? It's not personal terms are no problem. It's personal terms should not be problematic. They've gone for a real long one this summer. United need to act because Chelsea are dangerous. Been telling you that for days. They are monitoring the situation. They've made no active move yet, but it's on Man United to get this deal closed down. Viewers, make sure you smash that like and share button. Scan the QR code on the screen as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.